Well, good morning. We are here. This is Mike and Lynn, and we are here at the base of the Teton Mountains in Victor, Idaho. We've been here about 3 days. Going to be here 10 more. So between Driggs and Victor, we're going to see the area pretty good. Wanted to talk to you today. We haven't, as of yet, spoke to you about our rig, how we're set up, kind of what we did, why we did it, what's working well, what's some challenges, some things that we would probably do different. But for full timing, our rig's a Valor 36V11. It's a 2026 model. We bought it in December, and we pull it with our F350 dually. The truck does a great job. Some changes we did initially out of the gate. We put the Gen Y on here, which we'd had a fifth wheel before with the regular fifth wheel hitch, and I really like this. I like it a lot. I just think it's for ease of hooking up, unhooking. I just think it's better. I like it because you can just loosen these bolts, adjust the heights here, or adjust the height of your ball by getting an extended ball or whatever it is you want to do. Some of the things that come on this unit, it came with 800 watts of solar, and it came with a standard 100 watt lithium battery. So one of the first things that we did to this unit was right here. I'm gonna get Lynn to bring the camera around. You can see right back there, we put in Redodo, one of the Redodo minis. It's, 360 watts, I believe. But I'm really happy with it. Does a great job, holds a lot of charge, and that was one of the changes that we made right off the bat. So we're going to talk about the charging setup here in a minute. We're going to do some boondocking next year for sure, and so I want to talk to you about how we set it up. This is our Starlink. I just set it on a container. Works great. Move it either side of the RV. We've been to probably 20 different locations so far this year, and we hadn't had any trouble. One of the other things that I did on this unit was I put in the Moride trays. I know you've seen them over and over, but gosh, do they work great. I mean, you just slide your stuff out, makes it easy to get to. I really like that. And I've got another one around there that holds the EcoFlow system that I'm going to show you in just a little bit. We tried the snap pads on the leveling jacks, and I didn't like them. They kept falling off. We just had all kind of trouble. So right now you can see using a couple of them here to hold the step up to a level where the door will open correctly. Coming on around, Lynn's got to get Murphy to cooperate here. Come on, Murphy. There we go. So talk about a few things that have happened with the RV since we've had it. We haven't had a lot of trouble, and I know all RVs give trouble. We've had a Class A and a fifth wheel before this, so I'm kind of accustomed to it. But one thing that happened, we were coming from Alabama up towards Branson, and we lost a wheel bearing. Well, you know, at the time, the RV probably had, counting from the factory to our dealer in Myrtle Beach to the trip we made down through Florida and back around and coming this way, we'd probably traveled 5,000 miles at that time, and that just shouldn't have happened. And my guess is it just never arrived at Alliance from Dexter, the hub, with the wheel bearings packed correctly. That's just my belief. So, but it may not have been. But that shouldn't have happened. Left us on the side of the road, cost us right at $1,100.
Lousy in Mississippi and Tennessee.
Yeah, coming around Memphis, in fairness to Alliance and Dexter, there was a lot of potholes. The roads were really bad in North Mississippi.
Up and down a lot.
Yeah, we did. And anyway, so it could have caused some pitting and burnt that bearing. But the thing that makes me think that may not be the case is the spindle itself was not pitted or marked up at all. So I'm not sure. So anyway, this unit's got the garage on it, 11-foot garage. If we had it do over again, I don't think we'd go that way. We got it because we thought that a couple of things. One, you get the extra half bath. Of course, you can get that in other RV models without it being a toy hauler. But it gave us a place. We wanted to get a golf cart, so we got a mini golf cart. And we like it, but it's too much hassle getting in and out, so we're going to sell the mini golf cart when we get back to Myrtle Beach end of August. And we're going to try to turn this more into an office area. It's just Lynn and I, and we don't need the extra beds. And our kids and grandkids and all, they don't, our daughter, we have one child, a daughter, they don't come and stay in our RV. Not saying they never will. If they do, you can always let the bed down and use it. But we're going to keep this unit for a couple of 3 years and then probably go back to a more traditional rear kitchen, rear living room, regular fifth wheel. But we do like the fifth wheels as opposed to Class A. That's just our preference. And the biggest thing is for us, the fear of being out on the road, having a major problem with the Class A and then being stuck with nowhere to live. Now, I know things can go wrong with this. You have to take it to a factory. A lot of people do and all that. But, you know, there's risk both ways. I get it. I just think there's more risk in my eyes with the Class A of being homeless. So, anyway, coming on around, another thing that happened to us, we were coming around the kind of the east side of Miami, coming out of the Florida Keys, and a trucker came up beside us, and mind you, the traffic's moving about 70 miles an hour, and he's pointing, and I left the window down. He hollers at me that our back gate was down, our ramp. And sure enough, in the middle of a construction zone on the bypass of Miami, this thing had opened and come down. Well, that's not Alliance's fault. I blame two things. One, I should have known more about it or realized it. And I kind of blame the dealer for not explaining it. But when you close this door, if you don't have that side door around there open where the pressure can get out, that thing will not latch properly at times. So anyway, coming on around. Some of the other standard stuff, like we put the Altair valve on, everybody does that. The filtration system. Well, there's a dog.
There's a dog next door.
He wants to visit the dog. So we use the standard Blue Tech water filter that came with the unit. We hadn't had any issues with that so far. And then some other things, we had a water leak inside in the rear bathroom, but it was just dripping. We got that fixed under warranty. But I'll talk to you just a minute about Alliance and kind of my thoughts on their responsiveness when you have issues. You know, I've called them a few times. Like right now, we've got a refrigerator that's throwing an error code of F2. It's the error code. That happened down in Lake City, Florida, and it's been doing it ever since. It's been going on about 3 months now. Now the refrigerator's working, not having an issue with that, but the ice maker won't work. And I was told by Alliance, and I read online as well, to change the fuse. Well, the fuse is located here behind the battery, so I changed the fuse. That didn't fix it. I was told to power cycle it. That didn't fix it. I was told to shut all the power off, even unplugged from the post, even if your shut off here is cut off. I did that, left it off for the time they said. I think it was like 5 minutes. Plug everything back in, change the fuse again, even though it wasn't blown, and didn't fix the problem. And so I call Alliance, and this person that finally started answering me via text, which I can't stand. I want to talk to somebody. Well, that's not the way they handle their warranty, and I don't like that. But that being said, via text, back and forth, finally, with this gentleman, and in the end, he ends up telling me, okay, I'm going to send you a form. You have to deal directly with the manufacturer of the refrigerator. It's a 12-volt, I forget the name of the brand, but anyway, we got to deal with Furion, I think it is. Anyway, we got to deal with them directly. So when I get back to Myrtle Beach in August, I'll have the RV tech that I trust and use there just handle it. They'll handle the warranty claim and deal with it. But you know, that's bad in my opinion. But all that said, would I buy an Alliance again? Probably so. I think so, unless we just saw something we like better. They all have different sets of problems. For us, it would either be a Brinkley or an Alliance, and the reason we bought the Alliance, honestly, is the price difference, and I don't see that much difference in the units. So, I mean, there's some, but there's not a lot. And if you read online a lot, you'll see where Brinkley has just as many problems. So, you know, I could own either one and understand what I was dealing with. Okay, here we go. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. I've got stuff sitting everywhere right now. But in here, amongst all my pigtails and this, that, and the other, you'll see the Eco 3, the Delta Pro 3. And this is the extra battery for it. And I have it in one of the sliding Moride trays. And the reason I did that, if you notice, of course, the Moride sets up about 2 inches off the floor. And I did that in case we ever had a water leak, because the manifold system's right behind it back here. So if we ever had a water leak, I don't want water damaging or destroying our EcoFlow. And this is just for anyone who's not aware, this is a solar powered generator. So how do you charge it? Well, there's several options. One, we have on this unit, and it comes on really, I think, on all of ours. We got the 6,000 inverter generator. This runs off of fuel, off of gas, not propane, and we've got 60 gallons worth of gasoline capacity. So you can run this dude a long time and power your unit. So that's kind of our first line of defense, I guess you would say, if we had to have it. The unit, we got a trash truck back here emptying a dumpster, but the unit, the Alliance came with two 400 watt. I'm gonna let him go for just a second here. Okay, so it came with two 400 watt solar panels, so 800 watts of solar going to the Redodo battery. I mean, I've never seen it below like 95%. So it keeps it charged. You know, the longest travel day we've had has probably been a little over 500 miles. And when we got there, we were sitting on 100%. And it's running the refrigerator the whole time. So I'm very happy with that. Of course, I know at night or on cloudy days it could be different. But that's what, so far, I know it will do. This here is a 4,000 watt output. Everything on is input. So this is 30 amp input. Here's my pigtail to my 50 we can plug into our RV. So we would just plug it in here, run it around, go out the little hole around the side there, and plug into our 50 amp service just like you would plug in here, but you'd be running on 30 amp. You know, what does that mean? Of course, 30 amp will probably run, in fact, I know it will, I've already tried it. It'll run two of the air conditioners at the same time. It won't run all three, which is, so.
Oh, here it goes.
Okay, folks, we're back. We had to let it cool off a minute. It got hot in the sun, the GoPro. Anyway, so back to where I was at. We're talking about the Delta Pro 3. This is all the output. We talked about that. The 30 amp. These are 110s. I'm not sure what that one is. Odd looking plug. I don't have my glasses on. And this is the extra battery. So this is 4,000 watts. This is another 4,096 watts. So you would think, well, you could have 50 amp. Well, you can't. You can only have 30. If you want to have 50, you got to have 2 of these, and then you can still have the expansion battery and take it up to 12,000 watts. So just kind of a mystery or a way to tie them together and go to 50 amps. They have a little hub that you plug in here, and you plug the other one in beside it if you get another one of these, and then you're 50 watt. But what's the real advantage? You're not going to run over 2 ACs anyway, and with 8,000 watts, and then you got your generator, plus you got your 800 watts of solar on the roof, and then we have 4 450 watt portable solar panels here. So let's talk about that just a second. Around here on this side, you're probably not going to be able to see this very good, but I'm going to show it anyway. Right in here, you can see access to the back of the Delta Pro 3. So on the back side of it is all of your input. Output on the front, input on the rear. And what you have these little lids here that you open, and these are your ports. You can see how we have the Delta Pro 3 tied to the extra battery. And then here you have a high input, high voltage input, and a low voltage input. So I'm going to get Lynn back out of the sun. We're going to go around here and talk about that just a second. But that's the way everything comes into the unit. So your cables, you'd run them up through here from your solar, tie them in series to make that work. All right. So the high input side, and I'm going to get my facts straight here. I know what it is, but I don't want to say it to you guys incorrectly. So I made myself a little cheat note here. So on the high input side, find the right one, the max is 150 volts, but that gives you 15 amps. So if you're wired in series, these right here, these are Zoop solar panels. So if you're wired, and they're 38.6 volts a piece and 11 amps. So we can tie 3 of them together. Well, we can't tie 4. If we tied 4 together, then we would be over the 150 limit, and you don't want to do that, even though they're probably only produced at 75, 80%. But just in case, you don't want to go over. And then on the low side, on the input, you can go 60 volts, but you get 20 amps out, or 20 amps in. And when you tie your solar panels in series, the voltage goes up. So each one you tie together increases the voltage, but your amps stay the same. So you can tie 3 of these, go in the high output or high input side, and still be under the max of 15 amps. And then you take the other one and plug it into the low. So you have all 4. Then you've got 1,800 watts of solar coming in, plus the 800 on the roof. Now, the 800 on the roof and this 1,800 are not tied together. They're separate. So basically, with the with the battery, the Redodo battery and the 800 watts, it'll keep everything running as far as refrigerator, lights, all your 12-volt stuff. And I don't think you can kill it. I'm going to add another one of those Redodo batteries this fall just to make sure, but that'll run all that. Then when you need AC, you'll use the EcoFlow, and you'll be drawing off of that 800 or 1800 watts, but it's not the 1800 and the 800 combined to the EcoFlow. Now, how do you charge the EcoFlow? You got two basic choices: solar, which we just talked about, or there's three ways actually. Or you just take the 110 off of the back of the EcoFlow and plug it in back there to a 110 outlet underneath your RV right here, if you're connected to shore power. If you're not connected to shore power, you fire up the generator and you still plug it into the 110, and it charges it in about an hour and a half, from about 30% down to about 30% on the power remaining. They say don't discharge it past about 25 or 30%. That's not good for it. So I hope that helps. I hope it kind of explains how we're going to do this. I've tried it one time, it worked well, but I didn't try it for an extended period of time, so I can't attest to it in those terms yet. But you know, I hope that gives you a better understanding of what it is we're planning on doing, and I think it's going to work really good. So I don't see any reason to get the other Delta Pro 3 to have 50 amp. If that changes in the future, I'll let you know, but I think 30 is going to be just fine for boondocking, and we're kind of excited about that. I'm going to get Lynn to give you a picture here of the mountains. Did you show them, Lynn? We're sitting right here at Victor, Idaho. We got the Grand Tetons around us.
Well, the Grand Tetons.
Well, they're back that way a little bit.
This is the range.
This is the range.
But the Grand Tetons, the famous pointy ones, are up there past Briggs.
But you can see them if you drive down the Driggs 8 miles. And this is Teton Valley Resort. It's a little pricey, but everything out here is. The most expensive trips we've had this year was Yellowstone. We were there 11 days, and this trip. So that was kind of our splurging for the year. Other than that, we're pretty frugal about how we select our campgrounds and looking for the deals. And we've stayed in some nice places fairly cheap. I mean, anywhere from $20 a night to, you know, when we get into these places, it can get a little pricey. But if you want to see this out here, that's pretty much what you got to do, because there's not a lot of other options. So that's all I got today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, hit the like button. We appreciate your support. Thank you.